Stories with Snowflake. Hello. What you're about to hear stays between you and me. Listen to every word and every detail that I'm about to tell you. Are you listening? Good. It's a cool winter day. Sweater weather. We find Richard in a stolen vehicle in an undisclosed location in the city of Los Angeles, high on methamphetamines, with Jason, the white guy. Is that Jack Frost nipping at your nose? Or is it death?
Just fucking kill me. I'm a piece of shit. Just fucking do it.
Jason drove down the Long Beach highway with tears rolling down his cheeks.
My girl doesn't even want me. She doesn't let me see the baby.
He banged his head on the steering wheel.
Just fucking do it. Just blow my brains out.
I sat in the passenger seat with my hands on the shotgun. It was 4 days later when we started this journey through hell. Little food and hardly no sleep. Our body was powered by meth, the piss of Lucifer himself. We had no money, no drugs, and our gas tank was on empty. For this was only part of the reason Jason was distressed. Yes, I contemplated on blowing his brains out, but I didn't know how to steal cars like he did. So him being shot dead would not benefit me at all. For the main reason Jason was submerged in his pathetic life is he had lied to me. For our deal was that he would steal the cars and we would do the robberies together. I would do all the work in the store, hold them at gunpoint while he got all the money. It would be easy. On the fourth day, his attempts on cars came up empty. And as we realized we would have to result in robbery, that's when his true character emerged. We sat parked in our stolen car outside a liquor store in Long Beach. All right, Jason, this is the one. I'm gonna go up in there, gun pointed at his head, scare the shit out of him, and get him to open up the register as quick as possible. He stood quiet.
I don't think it's a good one.
What the fuck you mean it's not a good one? You said that shit about the last two and now we don't have no choice because we got no money and our gas tank is on empty. I put the bandana across my face, ready to do what we had came here for. He stared down to his lap, mumbling to himself. His eyes will not meet mine. Come on, Jason, let's do this shit. I grabbed the gun.
I can't. I'm sorry, I can't.
What the fuck you mean you can't? You said you did this before. That's what you fucking told me. You can't back out on me now.
I'm sorry, I can't. I've never done it, I lied.
I stood quiet, for my anger built in me. I wasn't mad at him, I think I was more mad at myself, for I had put myself in a position with weakness, and now I had suffered the consequences. We drove.
Just fucking kill me. I'm just a fucking piece of shit. Just fucking do it.
Tears rolled down his cheeks. It's okay, Jason. We'll figure it out.
Welcome to another episode of Without Your Permisión. I'm Jose Arellano.
And I am Richard Cabral, and we are here to talk about real issues that shed light on our voiceless society of Los Angeles and throughout.
On this show, we create a space for real stories from real people that cover real topics to provide hope in the flesh. So if you can and you will, follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Instagram at Without Your Permission, Twitter at WYP_podcast, and be sure to subscribe on iTunes and also check us out on YouTube, Without Your Permission podcast.
And we are a team of Lineage Entertainment and Wrecking Spot Music that make this happen.
So thank you. So we just listened to Jason, the white guy.
But this is our new thing, right?
This is stories from Snowflake.
Stories from
and
Snowflake.
This is our new series. And so I just think like, wow. I mean, fuck. You know, like hearing that story was like, I mean, what comes to mind for me is like my own personal struggle with drug addiction.
Right.
You know, so and then the season that we're in right now.
Right, transition,
Like,
big transition.
You know, we're in winter. Is this winter?
Well, no,
Is this
we're
considered winter?
fall.
Or
We're like in
fall.
fall, going into
Feels
winter.
like winter though.
Right.
Like Christmas lights up everywhere.
Yeah,
And shit.
and like I think for us, talking about transition and like I think it's a little bit deeper than like the seasons, right? Like
Yeah.
we're spiritual men and we believe in our ancestors and the transitions of our ancestors, you know, and big transitions, you know,
just
with just
big changes and like, but see, like going to the story and like hearing like, well, that's a big transition because that's your story. So like,
Right.
for you to be in that season, which was probably similar to this season, like the weather and fucking being tweaked out of your mind, you
Right.
know, and being with this dude who you don't know from Adam
yeah,
and about to rob a liquor store,
yeah,
to being where you're at today and like being an Emmy nominated actor,
right.
sitting on this show with next to yours truly. I mean, fuck, you made it.
How
You've arrived.
I've made it. I'm
How
here.
blessed
Yeah,
you are.
how
I mean,
blessed.
look at
I
who you're
mean,
next to.
I mean, doesn't get no better
doesn't
than
get
this.
any better than this. I mean, look, it's me. It's me, baby. But
Yeah.
that's a transition.
And like, but who hasn't had transitions, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we sometimes we all evolve, you know, and some of them don't have to run around with Jason with a gun
To
and
change
methamphetamine,
things.
but like we all kind of evolved, you know.
And if we don't evolve, I feel like we die. Pieces
right,
of us
we're
die.
slowly dying.
Yeah. And I think like for us, you know, just it was always a transition. It was either a transition from juvenile hall to county or juvenile hall to YA to county. All these transitions that we went through to finally bring us to like a big major transition where we're like honestly like liberated.
Right.
Like we talk about prayer like today, you know, just being with each other earlier, you know,
Yeah.
today and,
Being
and
in
having my
ceremony
son
like that
and you know and praying and being free, like
Yeah.
being able to do that, you know.
Right. And I think, and like we talk about prayer, this is not the first time. And like our viewers, you know, because now we got like, there's people that listen to us.
There's people that really watch us.
Yeah.
Said it?
Yeah.
Are you out there? Is there anybody out there? Because I don't know. I don't have
And
any.
we
I don't have anybody liking my page or nothing. Serious. My shit's dead as a doorknob, homie.
Bro, Junebug loves
Oh
you.
yeah, Junebug does love
She's
me.
sending you
Shout out
some-
to Junebug, my biggest fan, Junebug. Honestly, before we go any further, I want to thank you for that gift you sent me too. She sent me something.
That was dope. What was it?
It was a book.
It was a
It was a daily
book.
devotional
Yeah,
book.
Right.
And Junebug, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for sending me that. I love you, Junebug.
So,
I had to give
no,
it up
no,
for
no.
Junebug.
It's great. No, so we talk about ceremony, right? So ceremony, like, what the hell is ceremony? People like honestly just don't know. And of course, we can't get through the intricate, like the sacred part of it. But I think it's a group of men,
Yeah.
you know, and
Men
not
and
just
women.
men and women.
Yeah.
But today was men that get in a circle and pray together and heal together,
Yeah.
and that are able to have to let your guard down
Yeah.
in a good way, and to be able to just come from the chest, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Come from the gut, and sometimes there might be tears, sometimes there might be laughter,
Yeah.
but that setting, bro, is
It's healing.
it's healing, and that is what you take those quantum leaps,
Yeah,
bro. Like
yeah.
that's what it is, and like I wish that I could have people be involved like this, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So they could feel the beauty.
And
of
like
it.
the only thing I can say about that is like I feel like deep within us
Right.
there's something that wants to live
Uh-huh.
and that wants to grow and wants to understand more. And whatever that is for you, whoever's watching out there, if it's just Junebug, Feedman, but if it's other people too, whatever that is, like just like dig, you know, search
Yeah,
a little bit.
right.
You know, and if your ceremony is going to church on Sundays
go
or
to
Bible
church,
studies,
yeah.
then you know that's what it is, you know, or whatever it is, but like tap into that. Like
Right.
there's something there to be uncovered. So
And you know, and it's sometimes because this transition has came too, like recently, it's just like where you separate like the fake from the real, and I'm not and like fake what like. It's because there's people out there that are not about this. The thing about it, we don't talk about this on Sundays. We're about this 7 days a week. So, like, I believe that's a big thing to cultivate. For me, the word is cultivate. Cultivate the setting that you want. Cultivate the people that you want. And I'd rather have 5 real-ass people than 15, 20 fake-ass people.
yeah,
Real.
He's
Like,
going
what-
in. Go in on that.
No, I'm just like,
you're
no,
right.
because it hurts you, bro. Like, if you don't know,
Yeah.
like, if you're not about it, like, that's cool, bro. I'm gonna pray for you from afar, but like, don't be around me because
Yeah.
like you're gonna spoil the rest of this like orchard like that, bro. And like, it's that for me, like, and people might have their differences, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, that's okay. But this is where I'm at. You know, everybody in this room right here, because there's other people in this room. You know, it's not.
There's people really behind the camera. We're not just like setting shit up and then like go and then we edit it later. Like it's just me and Rich.
Yeah.
We just do it all. Like I edit the shit after.
No,
Like,
so
we-
it's everybody is here for a reason, you know.
Yeah.
And there has been people here that are no longer here,
Yeah.
but they're no longer here for a reason
Yeah.
because they weren't on that energy, and
Yeah.
maybe they might be. Maybe they're better off over there, or
Yeah.
maybe they might be on this positive energy later on, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'd ride or die with you guys.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah, and you know where I stand already, like on, like, oh, you know my intention. And
Yeah.
I think that we always talk
Intention,
about
yeah.
intention, and intention is really big for us. Like, and I think it's just a feeling more than it is even saying anything, because a person can say something, but like attention eventually, your
Right.
intention eventually surfaces.
yeah, the truth will
You know,
reveal
so
thyself.
I think like with that, it's like for everything that I've been through, is like when my intention changed in a certain direction, like my setting changed.
Yeah,
You know, like the people around me begin to change. Like I wasn't kicking it no more with
Right.
the homies that were catching cases.
Yeah.
I wasn't kicking it with people that were on a come up,
Yeah.
you know, or trying to do negative shit. It's like, you know, God has a way of like moving stuff around.
Okay, so we just came back from South Dakota.
Yeah.
All right, talk about when old boy, when he kind of struggled with the fight, and you remember how?
Oh, when bro was telling me about-
Yeah.
Oh, when he was talking
Well,
about
so
like,
the brother that was struggling, like his intention. I think what I'm thinking is
so we're talking
is
about
it-
like, so
is
there's
it
this.
right?
Well, this is what I think about that, because I was kind
made
of
sense
I
to
was
me.
I was talking about that earlier too. It was like, so there's this idea that you don't go into anything like saying like I got this or like I don't got this. You just go into it, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't. What was I telling my son earlier with the cold water?
Right.
Don't anticipate.
Don't anticipate,
Like,
yeah.
son, don't anticipate.
Just
like
get
the
up
water's
in there.
cold.
Yeah.
It's cold because people were in line saying, "Oh, the water's cold. It's freezing. It's cold." And then your mind starts going, "Fuck,
Yeah.
I'm next."
Yeah.
Like, "Fuck, I'm next." You know that shit's gonna
Yeah.
be cold. But when we don't anticipate anything, we just go into it.
Yeah.
Just walk into it.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of like what the homie was telling us about a
what
fight.
bro- yeah,
Yeah.
what
So
bro
there
was
was. So this is the story. It was it was a homie, and then it was his brother-in-law, and he was gonna have a fight. And he was just like, he was an MMA fighter, and he was gonna fight this dude, and he was like, "Oh, I got this fool. I'm gonna fuck him up." You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even worried about it.
Yeah.
Like there was times where he could have been training, but he wasn't, because he was like, "Oh, I got this."
this.
Like I for sure, I've already watched some of his fights. This fool ain't no match for me. And then he went to the fight and got his ass choked out. Like bro was like, "Damn, I seen it," you know.
Yeah.
And so anyway, long story short, basically, it's like we can't go into things like expecting like I'm gonna win or expecting I'm gonna lose.
Right.
I just gotta go into things.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's attachment that gets us, dog.
Yeah,
Attachment to
yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm gonna lose, or attachment to like I'm gonna win. Because he was saying that when
And I think that was like kind of what the intention does that mix up with the intention or no?
I think like when I was talking about intention, I'm talking more about like, because we were talking about like the people in our lives. I was thinking more like some people's intention are like to get ahead by whatever they have to do. Like
Right.
Like
That's
fuck
all
it.
their intention
Yeah, like their
is.
intention is like I want to be
I'm
successful.
gonna come up and I'm gonna do whatever
like,
I
I'm
need
gonna
to
be
do.
successful.
And I
If
don't
I have
care
to,
who.
even if I don't like what this fool's saying, I'm gonna agree with it because I want to be successful.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There might be times where people are around us just to be around us because they think that they're making a move.
Yeah.
And they're playing chess, but they're playing chess by themselves,
Yeah.
homie, because I ain't playing chess
Yeah.
with them. You feel me? Like my intention is I want to help people before I die.
Yeah.
And I'm clear about that across the board. It's not like, of course I'm going to take care of my family, but
That's not how you're trying to get
that's
to
not
that.
how I'm trying to get to that.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I'm like I don't have to fucking be chummy with somebody, even if we don't agree, just so I can get ahead. Like I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that, like, for me, is like intention. Like, it's us. Like, okay, what's our intention? Like, we always talk about when we go into a conversation, like, what are our intentions? Are we just talking just to talk?
Yeah.
Or, like, are we saying something because we want someone else to heal from it?
Yeah.
Or we want someone else to connect with other people's pain? or we just like our ego. You know, you always bring up ego.
Yeah.
Like, is it ego or like what is it? No, it's like check my intention at the door.
Yeah.
Like before I
And
even
then just
step
go
in
in,
anything,
and then just go in. Yeah.
Like without expecting anything, because my intention should be good, and my intention should like move me and maneuver me to where I'm supposed to be anyway.
Right.
You know, does that make sense?
No, it makes sense.
All right.
So Staffa Bear.
Stuff a bear. Yeah.
So we did this podcast already.
Oh, so Trip. Yeah, we're gonna
And
go
like
there.
because we talked about some how do you articulate it, Richard? Because we talked about dope shit
and we
now we have
lost
to do it again.
we lost the whole episode. We lost the whole episode.
All right,
but look,
but that episode, I'm not tripping on that because we talked about like death and a lot of good
We
stuff
talked
on
about
that
a lot
one.
of
That
good
was we had
stuff.
like
look, no hard feelings
yeah,
on
I
whoever
mean,
lost
okay,
it.
that's all I had to get. I didn't know
He had to get off his chest.
I didn't know how to go another way about trying to get what I'm trying to get.
What you
off
wanna
of, 'cause-
bring out.
Yeah, because we lost it and we had some
lost
good
it.
stuff in that episode.
We had some good stuff, but the episode was lost. Somebody fucked up. But look, we're gonna bring it back. It's not really on that. I mean, it's on that person. It's on like one of the producers, but we're not gonna blame him for it. I mean, we're not gonna hold it. Like we're gonna blame him for it, but we're not gonna like this ain't gonna be like a lifelong thing. Where
But you disciplined them.
yeah, he broke off burpees. So look, we're gonna give you some little bit of insight because you guys are our viewers.
yeah, and we're
we might
legit
as
in
well.
our
We
psyche.
already went there.
Yeah.
we already went there. So we got producers. There's other people in the room. It's not just
Yeah,
us,
yeah.
like we said before. So we have Staffa Bear, who we named Staffa Bear. We just came back from a road trip. He's
he had
the
3
sound.
names.
He's the sound producer.
Sound guy.
I'm not saying that it was his fault or that he's the one that lost the episode,
But
an
someone-
episode was lost.
It's gone.
Gone. It's not
Forever.
coming back. It's not coming back. And so what do we do?
And you like, bro, that was a good episode.
That was a good episode.
Yeah. All right.
What did we do? He broke off burpees.
Yeah. What does that mean?
What does that mean? He had to exercise.
He had to exercise because that was his discipline. You know what? I'm gonna look at what we learned in prison wasn't all bad. That we got that from prison.
We did.
But we apply those good teachings into our young relatives. Some people might be like, "Oh, that's messed up. You made the guy do burpees." Well, I mean, it's
the whole episode.
Yeah,
I mean, he lost the whole episode. It wasn't like a piece of it. The whole episode gone.
So I mean, like that's
So
a
he did
good one. I
burpees.
mean, so in prison, right? So if you mess up, tell them why you would have to do burpees.
I mean, or else you get stabbed. I mean, usually
why
that's
would-
how it works, right? If you lose an episode in prison,
So what would you
You're-
have to do? People are gonna be like, why would you be disciplined in prison?
I mean, it's crazy
so-
politics in
Okay,
there,
so
so-
if you leave the cell wite shoes, right?
you're busting off the pad.
Yeah,
you're-
you have
you're
to.
gonna do
You get
burpees.
disciplined. If you lose a knife,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, no, you're right.
No, I'm
No, if you lose a knife, chances are you're getting stabbed.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, burpees are off the table then.
If
Either
you
stabbed or
if
you're getting
eat
jumped.
with another race.
Yeah, it's way out shit.
Yeah, in the
I
county
know.
jail,
I know.
if you
So,
eat with
see,
the-
that's the thing about California. To give
the
you guys
only-
a glimpse, if you guys are watching,
California
if
is
you,
the only state in the United States
that
that's
does that.
segregated.
And
That's
we segregate
segregated.
ourselves.
Still, yeah.
we segregate ourselves.
Well, so when I went to prison the first time I was in Tehachapi, they try to but the COs are scandalous. CDC was messed up, bro,
Yeah.
because they try to integrate us without
Forcibly.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember
And
hearing about
we're
that.
fighting.
Yeah.
We're fighting. There's no ifs, buts about
But see,
it.
this
Messed up.
is where you get into like the real trauma of shit. Think about the psyche of that.
yeah.
Like
I
think
was
about
just a kid, bro. I was
And
scared.
so trip out. So think about like all the trauma, right? All the generational trauma,
Yeah.
of racism in this
Yeah,
country.
yeah, yeah.
And like everything that our ancestors have been through.
Right.
Like everything that people before our times have been through.
Right.
About like having rights, having equal rights. And being brown.
Yeah.
Right? And being
Being of-
segregated.
being of color, yeah.
Yeah, being of color and being segregated. Then
Yeah.
you get locked up and we segregate
yeah,
ourselves.
yeah.
And it's fucking crazy. You know, and there might be some people watching that don't agree with what I'm
No,
gonna
it's
say.
not right.
But for
We
me,
don't-
it's wrong.
Yeah, it's wrong.
I
It's
think it's
wrong.
like,
It's wrong.
but that shows you the psyche of like
Yeah.
your mind of like, homie, you're gonna segregate. We're gonna segregate ourselves
Yeah,
now.
and I mean, because this new generation, we didn't start going into prison till the 2000s, early 2000s, late 90s. But I mean, those jail rules were applied in the 90s for us when we
Yeah.
started going to jail. but it was something that was passed on to us. Like,
Yeah, we didn't know.
we didn't.
Like-
It was just we didn't know why. But if you're in it, and for all races too. I mean, the whites, the African Americans, and the Latinos, like everybody knows, and that's
just the norm.
That's just
It's
what
just the
happens,
norm,
you know?
and it's like,
not no peace,
and
love,
so and that creates like long term shit.
yeah.
That trickles back out into our communities.
That's the reasons why. I mean, I honestly think because I mean, in the mid '90s, you weren't hearing of like race riots like that, you know, on the streets. Not like, you know, not
like now. Now it's a norm. And where did it come from? It came from that.
Yeah.
I think that had a lot to do with that shit.
For sure.
Of like we're segregating our own communities now because of this shit.
Right.
When
and we're all going through the same
and we're
shit.
all going
And
through
we're all
the same
poor.
stuff. Exactly.
We're all broken.
We go to the same county building.
Yeah.
Like our moms and grandmas go to the same county
We go to the
building.
same public school.
But then we want to segregate ourselves.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. It's fucked up.
It's all fucked up. But that's the truth of it.
But that's the truth of it.
Okay, so in jail, you would have got disciplined for that.
For that.
Okay.
Let's see what else. I mean, they would have made some shit up.
Or if you would have talked, if you talked to a correctional officer without a homie there,
Oh, that's a whole nother story.
right?
Yeah. It's
you'll
like
get disciplined for that. So there's a couple things.
there's some shit.
Yeah. All right. Well, so he got disciplined.
And so he broke out burpees for losing the whole episode.
Okay, great. That's not bad.
Which is good. I mean,
Yeah.
he only had to do 10 burpees.
Yeah.
Which is not a lot. He didn't even sweat. But it was a whole episode, though. Like a whole episode.
All right. So in
God.
that episode,
So in that episode, we talked a lot about
death.
Well, we connected the story, like, because the story you guys just heard was a story of, Richard being on a run,
Right.
being on
With
meth.
Jason.
With Jason.
Two broken kids.
Yeah, two broken kids. And
Meeting
kind
in
of,
Palmdale. No, wait, Victorville.
yeah,
Meeting in Victorville.
and getting to, like, the end of Jason's road where, like, you get a glimpse into, like, why Jason was getting high.
Right.
Like, why
broken kid that he really was.
the broken person that he was. And so, our last episode, the one that got erased, I talked about, like, my own struggle with drug addiction and what that was like, and and being lost in that, and connecting to, like, your pain, connecting to Jason's pain in the story, like, fuck, being always wanting to get high,
Yeah.
like thinking that was gonna solve my problems, but it was only creating more problems for me. And I talked about what it was like to come home and to have my children there and not wanting to carry my kids because I thought that I had meth on my hands. I thought that I would sweat and it would, you know what I mean? So I just wouldn't carry them.
Yeah.
And fucking hurting, dog. Like, just being at my lowest, like, fuck. Like, how can I not even, because the meth will have you tripping like it's coming out your pores.
Yeah,
You're thinking all this shit, right? And I'm like, I can't even carry my kids because of this. And it just feeling like low, just feeling like the lowest. And then I talked about, getting that opportunity, and having that moment with God where I would go in the room and I would just cry out to God, like, God, help me, please. I do not want to live like this anymore. And God answered my prayers. I was going to this rehab and I would keep going even though I knew I was high because I was hoping, I don't know, I was just hoping that I was going to get in. But I had to be clean to get into this rehab. And so I would keep going, and my wife would be like, "Are you sure you haven't used?" Like, and I'd be like, "I haven't used. I should be fine. Let's just get there. I've been drinking, but I haven't used." And we would get there, and they would turn me back, like, "No, you can't come in high. You can't come in dirty." And like, fuck. I remember just taking the drives back, and then so the day that I was in the room, and I was like, God, like, please, I do not want to live like this anymore. Like, please save me, please. And I get to that rehab, and I used, homie.
Yeah.
Like, straight up. Like, I know I used. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I get to the rehab, and I do the piss test, and then he just looks at me. He's like, yeah, you're good to come in. And I was like, fuck, and I go in, and I remember, like, every night. So going back to burpees, like, every day I would do burpees because I wanted to leave so bad to get high again. And I would get on my knees and I would cry and I would pray to God, like, don't let me leave this rehab. No matter what the fuck happens, don't let me leave. And then I would do burpees. And then I would pray and I would do burpees. And for 30 days, I did that shit for my 30-day blackout. But I say all that to say that in my darkest moment, like, God came through for me.
Yeah.
In our darkest moments is when God came through for us, And I think, like,
those moments.
Like it's those moments. It's those moments where you can't explain them.
Yeah.
It's those moments where I can't. There's no way I can. I don't even do it justice by telling you the story. It's like I know what it was like.
Yeah.
You know, like beyond a doubt. Like, and we talk about the pen. We talk about getting broken off, and it might sound funny to people. It might even be funny to us now. But it's those moments that the story don't even do justice to it because we lived it, and we're here to tell about it. Like we're still here. I didn't lose my mind. I'm a father. You know my kids. You know, I'm a dad. I'm a husband. And I get to do work in my community.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's all that brings us here, and it's all that we've been through that gives us purpose to do what we do. You know, and that's what I'm so thankful about, you know. And it's just, you know what, and I think that's what it is for me. It's like my life is not meaningless. Like everything that I've been through has purpose now. If it wasn't for those dark times, if it wasn't for those times, like we talked about, remember earlier when we were like, we were coming out of the ceremony and we were showering with the water hose and the water was cold, but it wasn't cold to me. I remember being a kid and we were using the neighbor's water. I was bird bathing before I ever hit the system.
Yeah.
I watched my sisters, they washed dishes with buckets of water.
Yeah.
Like we would let them pile up. And so we talk about like, you want to talk about having a romantic night. Like we had candlelit dinners, homie.
Yeah.
Like that's the truth. Yeah. We had candlelit pizza dinners, homie.
Yeah.
Where we would get enough money to get some pizza, and there was candles all through the pad.
Yeah.
And so it was like, so for me to be where I'm at now, I have a life beyond my wildest dreams. You know, because the truth is, my kids will never know what that was like.
Yeah.
Like I buy toilet paper, homie, by the 30s. You go to my house right now, there's racks of toilet paper. You know why? Because I told myself, like, oh, my kids will never go without toilet paper.
Yeah.
You know, they will never experience what it is, you know, to have to wipe their ass with newspaper. And I know it sounds crazy, whatever, but that's the truth of it.
That's the reality of it.
Is we get to do that for our kids now. Right. Like everything that we missed, we're not missing it with them.
So it's a lifetime of transitions, you know, and I'm talking about transitions right now because these seasons, you know, we started off like that. So, where you at right now with transitions? So
I'm looking forward to each moment that I feel like I'm living life right now, moment to moment, but I'm in the moment.
Yeah.
Like I get to experience the moment. Like, so my 3-year-old son is doing, it's not pre-K, it's like before pre-K.
Right.
I don't know what it's called, but my wife got it on lock. And so he's doing that stuff where like he's already doing homework and he's just funny, man, with everything he does. So
I mean, this year's wrapping up. How you like it's ending, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like it never ends like that. Like, and I don't really even consider it like January. Oh, the year's like, bro, like we work, you know.
We're just going.
But like I think for in this world that we're living, you know, like for me, the Hollywood industry starts shutting down. Homeboys is off for like 2 weeks, you know. So it's kind of like for that year, you know what I'm saying? Like how are you wrapping up this year like that? Like now, I mean, Thanksgiving's a few days away.
I guess like one of the biggest things is like, you know, my grandma passed. So, so that right there is, so that's it, you know, so my mom passed away October 28th, 2009. My grandma passed away October 28th, 2017.
Yeah.
And she was put on life support that night. She was resuscitated on the 28th, and then she died. She eventually, you know, took her last breaths on the 29th. And I was able to be there with her. You know, I was able to see that and sit with her. And so, like, for me, it's the truth. You know, like, it might sound crazy, but for me, it's like a part of me is a kid, but a big part of me is like, I have no parents. Like, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no one to be a baby with. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. Yeah. So my thing is like, now my children. So it feels kind of like I'm in this phase where it's like, I'm a grown-ass man. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. It's weird to describe, but it's like.
No, I get it, bro. Yeah. Like what you said, that killed me right there. Like you can't be a baby. You're not. There's no one there to be a baby.
Like there's no more parent. You know,
Yeah.
like there's no grandma, there's no mom. Pops, like I told you before, you know, I don't really know who he is. You know, I
Yeah.
met him, you know, and I tried, but I really don't know him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I met him I'm 32. I met him when I was 30.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, this was it for me.
Yeah.
This is who I knew. This is it. This is like, boom. Now this like took me to, and it's a trip how death will do that.
Yeah.
Like death will truly put everything in its place.
Yeah.
Because like days leading up to her passing, I was stressed out about minute shit I can't even think about right now. Like I don't even know what it is. And then when she was passing, everything was put in its place.
Yeah.
And after her passing now, everything is put in its place. It's like, I'm a grown man now, you know? And I've been a grown man, but it's like there's nobody to call and say, hey mama, like, you know, like,
Yeah. This is what's happening.
yeah, like I want you to hug me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or I need to go by there and I need you to, you know, are you gonna cook something special for me?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's also it's something that I know though.
Yeah.
You know, it's not foreign, but it's now it's not foreign, but it's certain now.
Right. Right.
It's like that's certain. It's
Yeah, and I remember like days leading up to that, like you were in a whole different state than you are today. And I'm not gonna say better, but because there's no better, I don't believe that. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel that you're like, and I think that because death does that to us in our society, in Western society, people that do not embrace death. I believe our culture embraced death. Our ancestors embraced death. We celebrated. You know, Dia de los Muertos just passed, and and I didn't grow up in my household like that. And in my household, you're supposed to like, oh my God, like it's gonna happen, you know. And I think I kind of seen that in our beginning conversations, and I know that conversation where you're like frantic, you know, and people become frantic, and it's just like. But I think now, you know, and we prayed about it and we talked about it, it's not that.
Yeah, it's not
It's
that.
not that though.
There was a buildup. It was
Right,
crazy
right?
because it was like I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
You know,
I
and
think
I
most
felt
people don't know what
and
to do.
most people don't. And then I found there was a moment where I felt alone, and then even like there was a moment where I pretended that I thought I knew what to do. You know, like after she passed, homie, one of the biggest things, like I sat there, like I stayed in the room with her, like my sister left, you know, and I posted up because I knew that piece. Like the beautiful thing about my life is I had lived this before. My mom died when I was in prison. And when my mom died, all I did was get high, get drunk. All I did was act out. I didn't have no sense of anything, bro. Like there was no, damn, should I seek God? There was no, you know, is death really what it is? There was
weren't even
no,
thinking
I
about
wasn't thinking about none of that. It's a trip because it was like I relived this for the sake, it was like God gave me another chance to redo it. And I feel like I did it to the best of my ability this time. Like I faced it. I didn't run from it. Even when I was driving up there, because it was a long drive to get to where I had to get to, my mind was going like, don't go. My mind was going like, you don't go alone. Like you should get a 40. Like you don't take this drive sober. My mind was going there, but my spirit was saying, you've traveled this road before. And I did. And what I did was the first time was with my mother's death was I threw everything away. Like I didn't want to face death. I was in that frantic state going like, oh my God, like I can't believe this happened to me. Like woe was me, you know? Which it was a tough situation, you know? But that situation allowed me to live to be able to do it differently.
Yeah.
To do it differently with my grandma. And so I remember like sitting there and I'm sitting there and I remember the nurses coming in and she's like, are you sure like your family's gonna come? And because they leave us time to see her before they take her downstairs to the morgue. And I'm sitting there and I'm lying to her and I'm like, yeah, you know, my family's they're on their way. They're gonna come right now. You know, like let's just but I knew that my family wasn't. I knew that people were already getting high. I knew that people were already drinking and getting drunk because that was the way that they coped with it. But I knew that the safest place for me was in that room.
Yeah.
Was to just stay put, was to not leave, was to not go anywhere. And I stayed there. And then eventually she would come in. She's like, oh, how you doing? You know, and I was just sitting there. And then I finally had to tell her, you know what? Nobody's going to come.
Wow.
Like, no one's coming. So
That's beautiful.
And she said, you know what, take your time, you know. And then I
Well,
told her,
not beautiful that. I mean, but it's beautiful, how you did that.
I got
like,
to sit there. I got to sit there, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna eventually ease out, you know.
Yeah.
And I did, and I eased out, and you know what I could say is, like, honestly, my grandmother was a strong woman, homie. I'm talking about, like, no matter what, like, she never hit the eject button on us. Like, no matter what, she never tapped out. Like, she was a person that had her own shit that she'd been through. She was an orphan at 12, raised up by her tias. I mean, her dad died in World War II, homie. So she lived a life that was
Real.
challenged. It was real.
Yeah.
It was raw. It was rugged, and she overcame so many obstacles, you know. And not only that, she took care of her kids, and she
her
took care of her grandkids.
Yeah.
You know, she raised me. You know, this is my grandma's name right here, homie.
Yeah.
She raised me like a mother. So, that was, for me to be able to be there was an honor for me.
Yeah. You honored her.
Yeah, and I want to continue to do that. And I think, like, that's the biggest thing. Like we think about death, and we think like death is the last stop, and it ain't.
Right.
And I'm gonna stand firm in that today. I feel something. Like, I feel like death is not even death. Death is not even what we think it is. Just like God is not even who we think it is. You know, G was saying something the other day where he was like, the God that we think that we have is the God that we settle for.
Yeah.
Like, God is much more bigger than the God that we think we have.
And we come in the society, you try to label them and you box them.
Box him, you know.
And it's infinite. It can't be touched.
It can't be touched, you know. And it's like, the God that people settle for is the God that doesn't like the people that we don't like. Yeah. But that's not the God that's real. That's not the God that truly exists.
You know, I've been with you this whole time like that, you know, and even though like your household is your household, but I've been fairly close, you know, and what's amazing to me is that, like, the teaching that you gave to your kids, bro, because you taught them how to go through it, because it's inevitable.
Yeah.
But like looking at your son, you know what I'm saying, and like just looking at him from afar, you know, and like it's like he's just moving like that, bro. And I remember the first time death happened in my, like, I didn't know, no one told me, like, no one, like, and I was a grown ass man. So it's huge, bro, what you give to your kids like that.
Yeah, and I'm thankful, but I'm thankful too. Like I don't do this alone.
Yeah.
And like, that's the thing. Like, we don't do this alone. Like, I depend on you. You know, I called you the night.
Yeah.
I said, this is what's happening, homie. This is what just happened, you
Yeah.
know, and you were there. And I don't go through this alone. But that's the beautiful thing about God, is like, God is gonna, we going back to intention and what we're putting out, the energy and the intention. Like, God's gonna provide, like, something that's gonna sustain us. You know, He has since the beginning, since all the things that we've been through, that I've been through, and He'll continue to do that. You know, and also through every experience, I feel like comes a lesson learned. After, like, I learned more about myself, and I learned more about life and the world and everything in it. And like, I just believe that death is not what we think it is. Straight up, you know, and life is something to be celebrated. And I feel like we're moving through eternity, moment to moment to moment.
And that's a beautiful transition, bro. Like that coming into this season like that, and to honor people, you know, even when they're not in this physical world, and to love people today. Like, I mean, how?
Yeah. Well, you said it. Remember, you said, give that person a rose today.
Give them the rose today.
Don't wait until their funeral.
Right.
You know, don't wait until their funeral to give them that rose.
And to give it, you know,
And it's like, and that's what, and so we have to be conscious of that. You know, like, how am I moving and how am I living today?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think, like, with that, I think we're good.
Yeah. Pine Ridge, Wambly.
Pine Ridge, Wambly. We just came back from a trip. And
we're connected. You know, we're connected to our community out there. You know,
and it's beautiful.
The Moose Camp family and
just to all the history that Wambly.
Oh yeah,
has
we went
in
to
Pine
Crazy
Ridge.
Horse.
Went to Crazy Horse.
Yeah. To the monument, right?
Yeah.
That was
amazing. It's
we ran around the Black Hills.
Yeah, the Black Hills.
The sacred Black Hills.
We went to
we had a snow fight.
Sick ass snow fight. We're gonna post that. Wounded Knee. If you guys don't know about Wounded Knee, if you haven't heard about Wounded Knee, I know there's a lot of times we hear like in the media like these big massacres, you know,
Right.
And that's not to take anything from everything that's happening, you know, in modern day and people that are losing their life, and it's sad, and our heart goes out. But there was a massacre, you know, at Wounded Knee.
There was massacres.
And there was like 300 people,
like
right?
300, you know, men, women, and children.
You know,
yeah.
so these are some of the stuff that kind of goes unrecognized, and we're in a time where if we don't understand like where we've been at as a society, history will continue to repeat itself.
Right. Like,
and so
it's stuff gets swept under the rug, like,
does.
and it continues, you know, like all these horrendous things that are happening in present time, and like it just gets swept under with the new media hit, you know, whatever's hot, like, oh, bam, like, like it moves to the next,
thing.
you know,
Boom.
it's sad, but that was a huge one to it, like I don't, a couple hundred people, right?
300 people, maybe some more. But there's research it.
Yeah.
Don't take our word for it. Check
Right,
it out yourself.
We're there, and we're trying to help out. We're that cultural exchange, you know.
Yeah,
so.
you know, we're learning from them, and hopefully we're bringing whatever it is, and hopefully it's the space that we create that we always talk about, so people can, you know, just inhabit the truth about their life, that they're worthy, you know, and that no matter who you are, what you've been through, like you're worthy to be loved, and you're worthy to love yourself, you know. And so it's good.
We're all
like
healing,
that.
right? We're all going through the same shit.
Yeah,
like no matter if you're on the res or if you're in the city or if you're, it's that we're all pain is pain. Pain is the great equalizer.
Exactly. So it's just that, and we thank everybody that's been, you know, tuning in.
Right.
We hope you guys are constantly a part of the conversation. Please reach out. Let us know if there's something you guys want us to touch on.
That we just did the podcast.
Oh yeah, we just did. We got to give a shout out. We got to give a shout out to Liz and Sarah.
Yeah.
A podcast is called Happier in Hollywood.
It's amazing.
Amazing ass podcast.
Yeah.
They touch some deep issues, things that are cracking in Hollywood right now. We want to give a shout out to Happier in Hollywood.
Homeboys all the time.
Homeboys, always give it up for Homeboy Industries. Come through.
It's not just about chips at Ralph's.
It's not just about baked goods. But you could get yourself a gang of good baked goods from coffee.
Yeah, and it's Thanksgiving and the holidays, so like they have like all the the holidays,
pumpkin bread, pumpkin pies.
The holiday.
We got pies. We got the pumpkin pie. We got the banana nut pie. Come to Homeboys and get your pies.
Right.
But we want to. But don't just come and get a pie.
Yeah, come
and
mingle.
take a look at everything that goes on at Homeboys. You can come to the bakery right next door.
Can we give a shout out to my cousin Paul?
Give a shout out to Paulie because he got a new job.
He got a new job. Homeboy
silk screen and embroidery.
Yeah. He's gonna be
doing your t-shirts.
He's gonna be doing our clothing line.
Because we're coming out with a line, so stay tuned. It's on and cracking. We're doing tube tops and spaghetti straps. Taking it back. Beanies. We're just gonna do like a winter. We're gonna do like the complete opposite of what you see in fashion. We're going to do like a winter line. It's going to be like a spaghetti strap, but with a beanie. So you stay warm, but yet it's still like sexy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sexy, but warm.
Yeah.
Your ears will be warm, but your
nipples will just be flaming.
Flamed out. Just sausage, pizza, pepperoni. But stay tuned. Stay tuned because we got a lot of stuff in the works.
Thank you guys.
For tuning in to another episode of Without You.